Merci. So should we do it in English or in French? No, not for you guys. English? Okay, let's do it like this. So hello everybody. We are really happy to be here today. So did you attend the keynote this morning? Was good? Okay, cool. Thanks. So again, Facebook is really about a cross-platform company. Facebook is on the web. Facebook is on iOS, Android, on Windows. And this is, I think this is because we don't have any operating system. And that's actually good news because we can be agnostic. And what we build, during the last 10 years at Facebook can help you probably to build better apps, especially in cross-platform world. So let's start with some market analysis. Of course, mobile is eating the world. I love this number, but actually for the first time ever, there will be more mobile active users than desktop active users for the first time ever this year. And if you look at shipment, devices shipment, this year there will be more than 1.3 billion devices shipped worldwide. Only 300 million of them are desktop or PCs. And 300 million are tablets, and the rest is mobile. So the world is definitely mobile. I don't know if you remember this article from Chris Anderson a few years ago, actually. It was "Web is dead." It was a bit tough, but actually the guy was right. Because today when you look at your usage on mobile, it's not about web, it's about apps. Actually, more than 85% of time spent on your mobile is spent on apps. Only 15% is spent on web. It's growing every year. Every year, apps are eating the world. So that's really interesting to see those trends, from PC to mobile, from web to apps. And there is a big issue with this. Is developing apps is really complex, especially in cross-platform world. Because you don't have to deal only with one operating system, but at least with 3 operating systems. And the fact is, a few years ago it was all about iOS. Then Android, and that's why we have this fantastic conference today. More than 80% of devices shipped, mobile devices shipped are based on Android. And Windows is here. And as the next Microsoftie, I know they won't give up on this stuff. So you will have probably also to build, apps for Windows devices. And of course the web. So you have to deal with cross-platform work for identity, dev tools, analytics, deep linking, monetization, apps discovery, all this stuff. And of course each of those platforms is giving an incentive to their own platform because they can sell more devices or they can sell more software. The point is we don't have any operating system. So we don't have to give any incentive to one platform versus another platform. So what we want to do is actually to be the cross-platform platform. So to help you to build the best app on iOS, on Android, on Windows, and on the web. Because again, we don't have any operating system. So today, as highlighted by Ali this morning, we have more than 1 billion monthly active users on mobile. So either smartphone or feature phone, still 1 billion monthly active users. And what is really interesting is when you look at our revenue structure. Facebook IPO, almost zero revenue on mobile. 0. Now, mobile revenue is about 63% of total revenue of the company. So within 2 years, we moved from 0 to 63%. So this pivot, inside the company was not only from a sales perspective, but mainly from an engineering perspective. We left, or we give away, let's say, the HTML5 stuff. We move on the native apps. And actually, it seems that users were really pleased about that. And of course, advertisers were really pleased also about this experience for their ads. So we took this bet, and now it's working really well. And when you look at some success stories we had with some partners, that have built actually platform, that have built apps on our platform, like Candy Crush, of course, like Deezer in France, BlaBlaCar, or I love this example, from Moby Game. It's a small gaming studio in France. I mean, I love this game. It's Zombie Tsunami. Download it. It's available on Android. It's a good one. And actually, all those guys, I mean, they raise 100 million. They raise 100 million. They are making a lot of money with Zombie Tsunami. All of them are leveraging the Facebook platform. All of them. And during this session, I really want to highlight some of our services that are used by those guys in order to grow fast and to eat the world. So the first one, of course, oh, sorry, another one. I love this one. I was in Israel last week, and actually it's an Israeli guy that created Yo. 8 hours, $1.2 million funding. Pretty good job. Of course, it's based on PaaS. So Ali talked a bit about PaaS this morning, and actually you can't do this, without this kind of mobile backend as a service stuff. And again, it's not just about big companies like Deezer, BlaBlaCar, and all others. You can have good idea, build your product within 1 day, ship it, and that's it. Maybe it will fail. Maybe you will get some money from it. So that's a great example about leveraging Facebook platform. So basically, we structure our value proposition to developers is to help you to build, to grow, and to monetize your apps, and really go through some of those services. The first one, of course, is Facebook login. Are you using Facebook login on your apps? Yes? Raise your hand. That's good. Okay, great. Because actually, more than 80% of top grossing apps on Android are using Facebook login. More than 80%. So we started Facebook login Connect in 2008. Then we moved, of course, to Facebook login. We had then the mobile revolution. It was 2010. Then we refined the way to give permissions, and of course we increase the conversion rates with this in order to increase also the trust, with the blue button. And today, more than 10 billion Facebook logins were done in 2013. So what we do now in 2014, and we announced this at F8, is actually to give you more control around the Facebook login. We want people to trust the blue button. We really want this. And today, people have a bit anxious, sometimes to press this button because they don't know the third-party app. They don't want to share, data with those guys. We want also to give more clarity, to people about what they share actually with the third-party apps. And we announced a pretty interesting feature called anonymous login. I will have a video for that. So more control. Here's an example with RDO, which is like Deezer-like. You connect with Facebook, you log in with Facebook, so it gives you exactly this kind of information that they want from you. And then you can edit actually the info of your profile, and you can check in or check out those information you can share with your third-party apps. Again, it's just to give more control to people about what they can share with apps developers. So sometimes it's not so good news for you, not for us as well, but at the end it's better for people, and that's what we want, to make sure that people are happy with the usage of Facebook and Facebook login. Then it's an interesting stuff. You see that? This kind of information about the name of my dog, birthday of my mom. So wow, it's a music app, man. So we are just fed up and pretty pissed off against this kind of stuff, and that's why you don't trust anymore the Facebook login stuff. And that's why we decided, to make people more comfortable with this kind of clarity and check-in, check-out, information. Around anonymous login, who knows about anonymous login? Thanks, guys. Oh, interesting. Front row, okay. So anonymous login was announced actually at F8 a few months back. So it's an example with Flipboard. So you can log in with Facebook, you can log in with full name, email, and log in anonymously. So here you can get some information about, okay, what does it mean for me as a user? Actually, you will take full benefit, of Facebook login advantage, like one single click, sign up, cross-platform experience, but actually you won't share any information with a third-party app. So that's a really, really good news for developers because they can build actually a new flow, for their users, and of course to limit, the drop-off rate on the sign-up process. So today the Sky Scanner app is live with anonymous login. We are in beta right now, but you can expect some more news about this in coming months. Of course, you get a stable ID in order to have information about this these users. So new login with Facebook, you must upgrade by April 30th, 2015. And now it's by default with V2 and the new login dialog. Anonymous login, you can sign up, on the Facebook developer page, but it's a closed beta. So I just want to set the right expectation here. So some best practices around login. Use our stuff. This font, this format of login with Facebook was tested, thousands, millions of times, and this is the most efficient one. So leverage what we did in order for you to increase, your conversion rate. You have to let people know about what you are asking and why you are asking this kind of information. That's what we do today with Facebook Messenger, for instance. We don't ask for your location information first. We wait for you to post something and eventually to say, hi, do you want to share your location? And then we ask for permission. So this is an interesting concept about marketing permission, which is very old, but still very true today. So ask for permission context right now with this kind of example. So then we have these new features, which is a good way to actually convert, from your web users to mobile users. So if you have a website with Facebook login, if the guy click on it, it will have actually this notification about send a link to get X app on your phone, and actually you will get a notification on your phone to download this app directly on the Facebook notification stuff. So it's a great way to convert existing web users to app users. So again, it's free and available. Good stuff also on the Facebook SDK. It's called App Events. Who knows about App Events? 1, 2, okay, interesting. So I will be useful here. So actually today the issue with apps is that it's like a black box. You don't have a lot of information about what users are doing, within your app. So what we did with App Events is part of the Facebook SDK. You just have to add one line of code as a tag, on your app, and you'll be able to get, especially for e-commerce app, for instance, to create a kind of funnel. And you can add tag, at each step of the funnel. And of course, you get more information about, okay, I am doing well in terms of user interface or stuff like this. I am converting well my users from step 1 to step 2 and so on. So this is really, really, really interesting stuff. Today, a lot of companies are doing this kind of stuff, but actually they are paying third-party vendors, third-party solutions for that. It's completely free. So that's really interesting stuff. Of course, a lot of gaming companies are using it. And we have some segments here like large spenders, those who reach only level 2 active users, and people spend more than 20 minutes on the game during the last week, and so on. So Even more interesting, you get also some insights. And we are the only one to provide this kind of information. It's demographics about your users, like genders, age, and we are the only one to provide this because we are the only one to have Facebook. So it's not data directly about Julien or Ali or any other people. It's aggregated data. But it gives you a really good understanding about who is using your app, or who is using your app within an event, like who actually are the top spenders on my app. So actually it's a female between 25 and 34. So maybe I should make some advertising, you know, on this specific audience. Or maybe I should change a bit my tutorials in order to have a better fit, you know, with this audience. So again, it's out of the box. We're also providing 14 out-of-the-box events, but you can, of course, add some custom events. At the end, if you want to engage or re-engage those guys, you will be able to retarget those payers. Because you know that it's a Pareto law. It means that 20% of your guys are probably making for you 80% of your revenue. So what you can do actually is really to target only people that you want to reach. In this case, the top 5 or top 5% of those users represent 16% of the value. And then you just have to click one button and you can target those guys with ads on Facebook. So that's really, really powerful tool. So today, companies like Deezer, Spotify, King.com, Superstar, they are all using this. All of them. This is really, really, really powerful because you are not spending money, you know, on people that won't pay anyway. So that's really interesting. And again, we're talking about games, but we can talk about any other apps for that because it's based on your event. Is it clear? Is it cool? Okay. So some best practice here. So again, it's integrated in the Facebook SDK. So it's really, really easy. It's free. So use it. I mean, it's just here for you. Use demographics to build the best app and the best ad. And really think, I mean, before adding your tags on your app or your events, build your funnel. And we just announced last week actually a retention chart and also cohorts, part of this tool. So it's called App Events. It's part of the Facebook SDK. You can get more information on Facebook developers app events. Now, Parse. So Parse was acquired 18 months ago by Facebook. It was a pretty small company as of 30 people. Yeah, 30 people at MPK. And actually, Parse was really, really successful because they were providing a mobile backend as a service for mobile developers to make, I mean, their job easier. That's basically their mission. The best platform for mobile developers. And sometimes we have some discussion, you know, with customers about, okay, what about Azure? What about AWS? What about Google Cloud? And what we can say is just we are narrow focused, you know, on mobile developers. That's our mission. Period. We don't want big data deal. We don't want web stuff, blah, blah, blah. Mobile. It's all about mobile. So this is why we are providing, I think today, the most comprehensive offering for mobile developers. So basically, you know, it's same kind of concept as platform as a service. So we take care of everything, network, security, scaling, management for the OS and for the database and so on. So you can get, you can actually focus on what really matters for your users. It means user experience and features. So Parse again today is powering more than 260,000 apps in the world. So that's pretty big. And every week we are getting more than 4K new signups. Just to give you an idea regarding the scale, in Q1 we sent more than 5 billion push notification. That sounds good, but in Q2 it's probably 4x. Because the growth is really, really amazing. And today we are recruiting some customers like Wargaming, you know, World of Tanks, people like Plarium, Top 11, and so on and so on. EDGing, probably knows those guys as well. So here is NASCAR slide. So, so on this one you can see some great French partners like MobiGame, like TV Showtime, like Stupflix, Digitic and Polagram and CMOB. I love those games. 94 seconds, 94 degrees. A lot of course, US companies. But I mean, every day we are getting a lot of new, significant references. So actually, Parse is about 3 main pillars. Parse Core, it's really about the backend. Parse Push is push notification as a service, and Parse Analytics. So you can use this one, or this one, or this one. It's not necessarily the full platform for you. So backend in the cloud is to help you, to deal with all the stuff in the backend, like database management, storage, authentication, and of course to run custom codes on Parse servers. Today it's JavaScript and PHP. So here's a kind of interface. It's like an Excel spreadsheet, but actually it's a MongoDB database with a lot of layer of abstraction. So you can add columns, you can make some filters, you can change actually content directly on the database. You don't have to manage the database. You don't have to deal with the scalability and stuff like this. So it's really, really, really easy to use. Really easy to use, even for non-technical people. Again, you are front-end developers. Do what you do at best, and that's the most important for us. Push notification as a service, it's an interesting one, and we are getting some fantastic feedback from customers about this one. We are providing advanced push targeting. Actually, you can target people based on all the data that you have about them. So you can send a push to people, at 1 kilometer from here, male, below 25, that spend more than 20 minutes on your app. You can do that with Parse. By query, or via web console, or via the client SDK. We are also providing push scheduling and expiration. So there is an interface for the web console. So it's pretty simple to use with the segments, and you have a preview of the message on iOS, Android, and of course Windows Phone. The scheduling of the push, the expiration, if any. So that's really easy to use. And the last one is Parse Analytics. It gives you a better understanding about, okay, how my app is performing. So you can have information about, okay, how many information I have on my database, how many objects, number of API requests and stuff like this. And we're also providing the same kind of information you can get with App Event with growth and retention analytics. The good news with Parse is the fact that we don't want to make money with this. So we have a great bank called Facebook, or Mark. And actually, we have a great pricing for this. It's Parse Core, so we don't think about instances or number of servers. It's free up to 30 requests per second, which is already a lot. I mean, we have people powering apps used by 100,000 of people that are not paying any cents to Parse with this. On push notification, it's unlimited number of push up to 1 million active devices per month. Boom! So that's huge, huge stuff. The last one is analytics, so it's completely free. So that's it. And the last one, I think it's pretty important to add, is data storage. So we're providing a database of 20 gigabytes for free, and file storage 20 gigabytes, and 2 terabytes bandwidth out per month. So you should be okay. I mean, the day you will make money, you will be happy actually to give us some money as well, because it will mean that you will get a lot of success. So that's our goal. And again, you can sign up today on parse.com. We just ask for your email. We don't want your credit card number or whatever, just your email. App links. Who knows about app links? 3, 4? Okay, great. So it's a deep linking technology. It's actually pretty interesting to look at the. We were talking at the beginning of the discussion about the mobile silos, between operating system. Actually, that's the same inside an operating system between apps. I mean, in the web, you move from one website to one website because we have the fantastic blue link, but it doesn't exist, in apps world. So Today, if you are on Spotify app, for instance, you are listening this song and you notice that there is this band, on tour next to your city. You click on it, you go to this shitty website, you have to log in again, you have to search this guy, and so on. So that's really bad. That's really bad experience. So at the end, nobody will go through this process, and you just give up and you say, okay, I will do it later on my PC or on my Mac. So it's bad experience. So what we announced a few months ago is app links. So you're on the Spotify app, you click on it, you go directly to the Songkick app. You track the event, and you can come back, and the good point is you're already logged in on this app. So this is app links. This is the power of app links. So I'm sure you have many projects around this. It's really your call, to define the best business model for you. What is interesting, and I know there are a lot of deep linking technologies in the market, but this is open source, cross-platform. And we are also creating an index of those links in order for you, to connect with Spotify, with Airbnb, with Pinterest, and so on, even if you don't know them, in order to provide a rich experience for your mobile users. So today we have more than 1 billion mobile deep links already indexed. So again, Airbnb, Spotify, RDO, Dailymotion, Deezer, Airbnb, Pinterest, all those guys are with us. And we are with them, because again, it's an open source project. So what is pretty interesting, and that's why I think we got so much support, is we support also deep linking between Facebook and their apps. So from apps, from Facebook webpage, from page on mobile, you can actually deep link directly to your app in order to provide the best experience. So today you are probably using Facebook plus Messenger. You can see this deep linking. This is what we use actually, and you can do it actually now with your own apps and your partner apps. So the main point here is to think first about your business model. We have the technology for that. So think about the business model. You can probably help people to get great audience to their app. So you have to monetize this. So define the business model. If you have a constellation of apps, just use cross-promotion between your apps, especially if you are gaming companies. And the last is to enrich customer experience with top apps. For instance, if you have an app related to events or to hospitality industry or whatever, it's probably good to have a deep linking, with BlaBlaCar or with Uber or with any other, travel transportation app. So applinks.org. Great stuff. Again, great job from the community around this. Two last points. The first one, this part is much more about ads, but it's really important, and we get a lot of feedback about this. It's great to have those tools to build your app and to have the best experience for your users. But you still have a main issue. You are invisible. There are more than 1.5 million apps on Google Play Store, more than 1 million on App Store. So maybe you're a Flappy Bird or Yo, but it's not so usual. So what we are trying to solve actually is to help you, to be visible. And what we do is on the Facebook newsfeed, you are able, to promote your app, like download your app, because you will be able to target the right people, the right audience, and you actually see it directly on your mobile today with your newsfeed. So what is really interesting is just not about the app installation, but the main point is to re-engage people. More than 60% of apps that are downloaded are not used after 1 week. So maybe you paid $5, to get your app downloaded, but the most important is to get your app used, from the users. So you can actually download, go to the store, now it's on the device, and actually you can retarget people, your users, to say, use my app, play video, listen music, book now and those actions. It's really, really interesting. And again, a lot of companies like Deezer, King, Supercell are using this kind of mechanism. So Facetune, I don't know if you know this app. They just launched on Android 2 months ago. It's kind of Photoshop, you know, for mobile. It's an Israeli company, 10 guys, great guys, light tricks. Actually, they launched their iOS app few years ago, and they had $500 marketing budget to promote the app. They say, okay, we will start with Facebook. Actually, they spent $500 on this. Again, it's category photo paid apps. And they moved from this position on the App Store to this position. So it was really, really great investment for them. So now those guys, they are top photo app, you know, in 43 countries. And they just launched on Android. And of course, they are reinvesting a lot of money on Facebook ads. So that's really interesting model. So here, we are providing all the demographics, interest, even now devices. So you can target the Galaxy Note latest version, you know, because you know those guys are maybe more interested with new apps and paid apps because they have more money. Pay attention to format, numbers, and content. Test, and use preferred marketing developers. So we have an ecosystem of partners, and those guys really knows about ads. So just save money and use them. They are really, really good for that, and they will help you to be more performant. So let's start to talk about money on your side. So today, what kind of ad network are you using, if any? AdMob, Mobcube, InMobi. I mean, there are more than 200 ad network in the industry right now. What we announced at F8 is actually audience network. So advertisers just love, you know, the Facebook ads on the newsfeed. They love it. And developers love it because, again, we can target the right guy at the right time with the right devices. Audience network is exactly what we provide on Facebook, but on third-party apps. So you can be a publisher of Facebook ads. So let's take an example, you know, with Huffington Post here. So they are a publisher of Facebook ads. And here you can see this ads, it's a native ad, directly integrated in their feed of information. But actually, it's not Huffington Post, you know, that have created or that is doing these ads. It's directly powered by Facebook. The same way with Vinted. The same way with Cut the Rope, with a really, really nice integration. So today we are providing banners, interstitials, or native ads, and results are really, really, really awesome. We are getting some strong feedback from every developers companies that we are working with, either in gaming industry, in news industry. I mean, we're working with Shazam, with Daily Mail, with Le Monde, with Deezer, with Glue Mobile, with Kim Kardashian, and I mean, results are just fantastic because, again, we have such good targeting. I mean, it's just try it. You can submit your case, you know, on a Facebook Developer Audience Network. Try it. Compare. Benchmark with your current network. But we are really, really, really confident. The last one is FB Start. It's a new program we launched a few months ago. It's a program for just to help mobile app developers, you know, to succeed. So, of course, it's free. You can submit your company and mobile app, you know, on FB Start, and actually you will get some free seeds, free fees from our partners because we don't have, you know, Google Apps or Productivity Suite. I mean, we are Facebook. So we just make some great partnership with people like Asana, Quip, Blue Jeans, MailChimp. And if you are accepted in this program, you will get for between $15K and $30K of licenses for free for 1 year. Of course, you will get also some free pass resources and free ads on Facebook. So that's just submit your case. I don't see as many app, French app I would love to see today. So use it. It's free. That's it for today. So again, I really want to thank you for your attention and think about parse, app events, and FB start. I think those three are really, really important for you. And now it's time for question.
Hi, I'm mostly curious about the push engine that you have on Path. You mentioned that there's push notifications, etc. I'm curious what's the comparison in terms of battery usage with, for example, the Google push engine.
What's the comparison with Google pushing?
In terms of battery statistics and battery usage, mostly. So just how much heavy duty is it in terms of power?
I'm not sure to get it. Ali, do you?
Okay, so I'm Scott from Parse. So just to be clear, you're asking how does our push service compare to Google's? Is that what you're
in terms of battery usage, is it better? Is it worse? Is it more, let's say, more accurate time-wise?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so with our push service for Android and iOS, we're actually just using, on iOS, we're using Apple's push notification service. And then for Google, we're just using their GCM service. And then for non-Google devices, so like Kindles, Nooks, etc., we just have a background task in the background running. I'm not sure how it compares to, Google's in this case, but since we had to build it, it's probably not as efficient as Google's. But yeah, so basically we're using GCM, but it's abstracted by Parse to be easier and more accessible for everyone, basically.
Hi, I'm Jean-Loup from Mythic. I would like to know if you provide any tool to integrate smoothly the ad that you show at the end.
Like audience network?
Yeah.
Actually, you just have to integrate a Facebook SDK. I mean, audience network SDK on your app. Sorry?
It's an other SDK compared than
yeah.
Facebook. Okay.
Yeah. So it's lighter, much lighter. What we want is just to get the device ID. Because actually today, if you look at Western Europe and the US, probably 80% of people have installed Facebook and launch at least once Facebook. So we get the device ID. So then they launch your app, with the audience network SDK. So we get the device ID, and we know actually who is using your app. That's why we can target stuff. So it's up to you just to design, the ad formats like banners, interstitials, or native ads. And actually, you don't have any control about what kind of ads you will get on your app. You can blacklist some, of course, content, but we don't think that context around ads is relevant. We think that people are relevant. So that's the main story around audience network. But if you're interested, let's chat later.
Okay.
Any other question? Yeah.
Actually, it's like two questions. One on the native ads and how, when we try to display them into the news feed of an app, it's like it has to look very similar to the content of the app. So is that like we have to customize them, or just like we just get it from the SDK and put it, and it will be.
No, yeah, that's a good question. So what we provide is really all the information related to the ads, so the text, so all the content, the logo or the image, and you can actually integrate the way you want. If you looked at the cut the rope example, again, it's pretty interesting because it's really at the end, you know, of when you achieve the one level, you got your rating, and this is an ad for Game of Thrones books. So you can really integrate the way you want, because we don't have any idea about what is your app. When you look at Shazam today, it's integrated in their feed, so it's like a block. You just don't know it's an ad. I mean, you know it's an ad, but it's really integrated on the app. So it's, I would say, be careful with native ads, because sometimes mobile developers are doing a too great job, and at the end, people just don't click on the ad because they don't see it's an ad. So our results on banner are really amazing, and interstitial as well. So start with this, and let's make some tests on native ads. But today, I don't see a lot of mobile developers that have really find the best way to leverage mobile ads.
Okay, and the second question, it's on you have been talking on analytics with Facebook on funnels to create app events, and then you talked with about parse analytics, and so how the connection can be established between both of the services.
So today it's completely separated because we want to keep a parse agnostic. We don't want people to think that they have to use Facebook login, you know, to use parse, or to use Facebook SDK to use parse. So app event is on one side, parse analytics is on the other side. So today you can get much more data from app event because you will get data from Facebook SDK and you will get data around demographics. So it's, you know, and when, I mean, I'm sure that in the room, most of you are using several analytics solution like Flurry plus Mixpanel and Google Analytics probably. And also now you can use parse because parse analytics is completely free, and app events because it's provide you some pretty unique type of data. So again, for the moment it's completely separated. That's in a way bad, but in a way it's also really good because it gives a good proof of the independence of parse, you know, inside the company.
Une autre dernière. Et, we were talking in French. Yeah, on the app events, are the data points exported? I mean, we can export them to like a CSV and
yeah.
Okay.
My question is about app links. Why should I choose it over Android intents? What is the main advantage of app links?
So that's a good question. Because in the industry, when you look at iOS or Android, everybody tried, I mean, to do deep linking and to push deep linking technologies. But I'm not sure one succeeds. I mean, so what is really different with app links is first, it's completely open sourced. Second, we are providing this index in order to make it easy to discover, you know, new kind of apps and partnerships. And the last one, which is probably the most interesting one, is that we have already the support from the top major, you know, players in the industry, like Spotify, Deezer, Pinterest, and all those guys. And maybe it's cross-platform. I mean, I know we are at the Droidcon still. Maybe also are building apps for other operating systems.
So it bypasses the intent system already present on Android to navigate between apps. I mean,
I'm not sure. So we come back to
two reasons. Who's speaking? I can't see you. Wait. Hey. So yeah, okay. So I can see. Two reasons. Number one, it's the app that's sending out a link, the outbound link, needs no knowledge of the inbound app. So it's an open standard. So, for example, the whole Songkick Spotify thing that was going on there, Songkick had no idea that they were going to be linked to by Spotify. They didn't have to like expose their intent or their internal structure, you know, because it's an open standard. Number two, we support it on Facebook. So that's a huge one. Facebook is the single biggest driver of traffic outside of the app stores, and we support it across all our surface areas: newsfeed, timeline, messenger, etc. the way it works from a technical point of view is you get your app will launch with the inbound link, which is just a URL. It's up to you to pass that URL and do what you want with it. So if you want to bind that to an intent inside your app, go ahead. That's a really good way of doing it. If you want to do it some different way, that's fine too. We just provide like the mechanism for two apps to talk to each other.
Thank you.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Hey, we talked, first thanks a lot for the presentation. We talked a lot about pass offer and other offers. Can you tell us a bit more about the background of building pass and reaching 260,000 apps?
So probably Scott and Nakul can have a better answer than me.
So I'm not a developer myself, but I asked the same question when I was interviewing. And I think the feedback amongst developers is that there's a lot of time and sort of energy that was put into sort of the slickness of the API and the quality of the documentation. So one of the sort of fundamental beliefs at Parse amongst the engineers is that the documentation is really part of the product. And so there are other services out there that on paper offer the same tools, the same capabilities, but they have very little adoption. So when you look at the social proof, they just don't have the same volume of apps and developers that are using the platform. And they certainly don't have the caliber of companies, you know, these big influential developers and big brands that are trusting their businesses with Parse. So I think it's really a combination of the quality of the sort of the API and the documentation. Anything to add, Alec?
Last one? No. Okay, thank you.
Merci beaucoup.